channel. My name is Ndeye10, and if you are tuned in today, I am super excited because I have a special guest with me here again,
Kensthetic.
And in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything you need to know, or 8 things you need to know when it comes to being a micro influencer. So if you're interested, make sure you check out both videos. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be growth. One of the things that I feel like always happens, so for me personally, I started my page on Instagram, or I started creating content from Instagram, then I branched off and created a YouTube as well. And I feel like one of the things that I had to remember when I was first starting out is that I was going to grow, and that I just needed to go at my own pace, and that the growth was going to be slow. I knew that, I accepted that, I wasn't in a rush to be like an overnight success, and because of that, I didn't stress myself out based on how many likes I got or how many followers I had, just because I knew at the end of the day, like, it's gonna happen whenever it happens, and I don't need to rush it. What do you think?
I think that growth happens a lot of times, especially being a micro influencer. You tend to unconsciously find yourself comparing to other people, whether it be numbers or content or quality or sponsorships or relationships or brands, and you start to like question yourself, question your purpose, question your brand. And honestly, the hugest thing that has kept me going is understanding that I'm growing at my own pace, I'm growing at my own way. Growth does not look the same for everybody, growth does not define the same for everybody. And I just feel like you understanding that you're gonna grow at your own pace, and you're moving at your own pace, and you're comfortable with the pace that you're moving at is what's most important.
As you're starting off, it's going to, you know, be annoying because you're going to see other people who maybe started when you started growing at much faster rates than you are. But it's just like, at the end of the day, what is for them will be for them, and what is for you will be for you.
Sis.
So just follow your own path, follow your own journey, focus on everything other than just the numbers, because if you do everything else correctly, the numbers will eventually come.
So the next thing we learned is don't watch numbers and quality over quantity. So for me, I feel like I started posting on Instagram just because I like taking pictures, I like being behind the camera, I like being in front of the camera. I just love a good picture, and I have so many pictures, and people will look through my phone like, why do you never post these on Instagram? And I'm like, these are just pictures that I have for memory, so that when I have kids one day, I can show my kids like, look, mommy was lit.
Mommy was a baddie.
Right. But when I started posting on Instagram, like, people were just like intrigued with the quality of my pictures, intrigued with like the outfits that I had on, and like putting things together. So I really appreciated that. And I think that I didn't go on Instagram with the intention like, oh my god, I'm gonna post these pictures and I expect to have like 10,000 followers in a year. I never really posted like that, and I still don't have like that mindset. So I definitely believe that quantity is better than quality. Quality is better than...
I was saying, sis, get your life.
I definitely believe that quality is better than quantity. And I have received like a lot of like relationships with brands and like work with brands just based off of the quality of my work. So things like that just keep me going to think like the quality of your work is way better than like having the numbers or like having the followers.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, as far as like not watching numbers, I feel like when you start to get so caught up on numbers, you start to do things in order to gain them that aren't positive. So people buying followers, buying likes, all of that eventually catches up to you. And I feel like I've gotten so many emails from like different companies like, work with us, pay us $100, whatever, or DM us if you want this, or join this engagement group, or do that. And because I don't watch my numbers in that way, and I'm not obsessing over it, I have no interest in these companies, because I want every single person who follows me, who follows my journey, to genuinely be interested in what I have to say, to genuinely be interested in the content that I post, to genuinely be interested in like, is Ndeye doing okay? Which is why I appreciate my subscribers and people that follow me so much, because even when I did like a hiatus, people were literally DMing me, sis, are you okay? Is everything good? Because of the connection that I have with them. So I would much rather that than just focusing on having, you know, 100,000 people following me. That would be nice, but that's gonna come when it's my time for it to come. And then as far as like quality over quantity, I feel like I don't want to post something just to say, oh my god, I need to post. If I'm posting something, there's a purpose to it. Either I like the outfit, or I have a message that I want to spread, or, you know, I did a shoot and I want to share how the shoot turned out. Like, I'm posting with purpose. I'm planning what my content is going to be. So if you get 1 picture or 2 pictures a week, you get those 1 or 2 pictures a week because that's what I planned for, that's what I prepared for, and I know that those are going to be quality photos. There might be weeks where you get 4 or 5 pictures or 4 or 5 videos. So I think it's all about knowing yourself and knowing that whatever you put out, you want it to be something that you're proud of. The next question is really, really important, and it's how do you decide when to do something for free? I feel like there's a huge misconception that as an influencer, you should get paid for everything. And I feel like when you do work for a company, when they are requiring you to post, you should absolutely see if there's a way for you to get paid. Payment should be the first option. Payment should not be the only option. And the reason why I say that is because as a micro influencer, like the reality is you can have followers, that doesn't mean you have influence. And that's not something that I'm trying to say to like come at anyone. It's more so to say like if you have 10,000 people, when you post something, it doesn't necessarily mean that those 10,000 people are gonna buy everything that you put up. So you have to keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, brands want to invest in people, but they want a return on their investment. If they pay you $700 for a post, it's because they want to make sure that they're making $1,500 more. And I would much rather work for a brand and know that, let's say, even if I'm not getting paid, I'm not ruining the relationship, because they're not going to be like, oh, we paid her $800 and we got no sales, because then maybe they don't want to work with me, or they wouldn't want to work with me again. So when it comes to like doing things for free, think about the brand size. There's other things that you can get from working with a company that doesn't have to do with money. They can post you in their email. Maybe they have like 1 million people that subscribe to their email account, so you can get visibility from those people. You can ask them to post you on their page if they send you product and you have to use it. You can ask them to like tag you, and to like they have to basically promote you in order for you to do it for free. So there's other ways where you can gain something from working with a brand, even if it's not
monetary. I agree. I think that something to keep in mind, one, is that if a brand sends you products, if a brand provides you with a service, one, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to like show it. You don't have to post with it. You don't have to really do anything with it, honestly. If they just send it to you out of the kindness of their heart, perfect, thank you, I appreciate it.
They never send nothing for the kindness of their heart.
But you get what I'm saying.
Just they're not sending it to you from the kindness of their heart.
The kindness of their pocket.
They're doing that because they want something out of it, but don't feel like you have to do it.
You're not obligated to do anything that you do not have a contract for, sis. So a lot of times like brands hit me up and they're like, oh, can you test out this product on your hair? And I'm like, okay, sure, you can send it over to me. But to me, I'm like, I'm prioritizing content that I genuinely want to put out versus this brand sent me a product and they want to see how I use it. If I genuinely like F with the product, I'll do it. If I try the product and I like it, I'll do it. Maybe. But you never should feel obligated to like use products that are sent to you or do anything that is really not in a contract, honestly.
So don't feel pressured being like, oh, if I'm a small influencer, I only have this amount of followers, I'm a micro influencer, if they send me something I have to post it. You don't. If you choose to do it, you can do it, but don't ever have a brand like telling you when is the deadline, when are you posting this, unless you're getting something out of it. And you get something out of it, ask them to post you on their page, ask them to promote your YouTube channel somewhere, ask them to send it to their mailing list, ask them for things as well. Okay.
And then also like with me and my personal brand in general, I don't promote brands or I don't promote products that do not align with the purpose of my personal brand. So for instance, so the next point is setting your rate. So this has been a tricky thing to
the deep breaths. Sis took like 3 deep breaths within one sentence.
This has been just a tricky topic in general, because when I first started like with Instagram and YouTube, I'm just like, I'm doing this because I like it. I like creating content. I like taking pictures. I like editing videos. So when the opportunity came about like to get paid, I'm just like, okay, this sounds good. But also like, what's the right amount to get paid? Because you have to consider so many things, and you have to really like know your worth, know your value, and know like what you stand for. So I would say that some sites to help you figure out like what rates are appropriate and how much you should be like pricing your services and your content creation for is Social Blue Book. Social Blue Book is a great source. What's the other one you told me?
Social Blue Book and 4.co.
We'll put it on the screen and it'll be in the description box down below. But honestly, you really have to assess, one, how much work it takes you to create content. Because let me tell y'all, not only are you creating content, not only are you a content creator, but you are also a director, a producer, an editor, a photographer. You're using your con ed energy, you're using your time, you're using your energy, you're using your edges, you're using everything, okay? So you have to take all of that into consideration. It's not just, oh, I bought this product for $20 or I had to buy this piece of equipment for $80, because one, you want to get a return on your investment.
Let me know what equipment that is, because my equipment wasn't that cheap. $20, $80. Your equipment is very expensive.
You're right. No, you're right.
All equipment is expensive.
You're right. But in general, you want to make sure that your rates are priced in a way where you're getting a return on your investment.
Yeah, and I feel like one thing you should think about, so like for me, when it comes to my pricing, I use Social Blue Book as a guide, but I always charge more than what Social Blue Book tells me. So if you don't know about Social Blue Book, that's honestly for me the starting point of where I should charge. But then I feel like even Social Blue Book is telling me a lower amount, just because you have to factor in, like Kendra said, your equipment, but you also have to factor in like what makes you unique. So for me, I know that I'm a unique face for a brand, not just because I'm a deeper complexion, my cheekbones, I'm plus size, like I'm not someone that you necessarily always see within the industry. My market is very niche, and I have a certain type of people that follow me or who likes to see me. Therefore, it's just like I factor that into my price. I'm not just, because you're now paying not just for me to produce content, you're promoting for my likeness. A lot of brands may reach out because maybe they need to fill their diversity quota. Okay, you want to fill that quota, that's cool, but I'm going to charge you. I'm going to charge you extra for that, because you can't. A lot of brands sometimes will try to take advantage of micro influencers, because the general thought is that micro influencers don't know their worth. You can get them to do anything for free, and it's just like I said before, there's nothing wrong with doing things for free as long as you're getting something out of it. But if you're not gaining anything from working with a brand, you should not do it at all, because they're going to try to get as much from you with doing the least amount that they need to do. So I use Social Blue Book. That gives me my starting rate for what I should be charging. Social Blue Book also gauges your engagement. It shows you the percentage. The standard amount of engagement that most brands expect you to have is 2%. So if you have at least 2% engagement on your content, you should be fine. Don't be afraid to ask for more money. Don't be afraid to negotiate.
And don't be afraid to say your rate to a brand and then they get back to you and they say like, oh no, this is out of our budget.
That's
or
okay.
They could just not respond, and that's perfectly fine. If you know your worth and you're comfortable with your worth, then those type of responses, those type of I guess like them curving you or whatever the case is, it's fine. And that doesn't mean that's the end of the relationship, because the brand might have a small budget now, but you never know what the budget is going to be in the future, and they might still want to work with you after. So even though you say your rate, and some brands might say like, you know, it's out of our budget,
be respectful,
it's too much for us right now, still be respectful. You could be like, okay, thank you, you know,
or you can ask them, is the rate negotiable? Like, is there any way we can do X, Y, and Z? Can they limit the amount of things that they want you to do? So if they wanted 3 posts, can they now do one to meet this certain amount? So there's always ways to work around it. And I feel like a big thing with that too is like, think about the brand if you want a long-term relationship with them. One thing that I wanted to make as far as like negotiating as well, if a brand tells you a price, always go above that. So let's say, for example, a brand tells you, oh, my budget for this is going to be $500. Be like, okay, I would like to know, be like, okay, but my rate is $750. Let me know if this is something that we can do. Like, always go higher. Or if they ask you your rate first, charge way more than what you would normally do, because usually they're underselling you, right? So there was a brand I was working with, and I'm gonna be real, I did something for like, let's say for example, like basically the difference in what they offered and what I asked for was $500, and I thought I was dragging it by like adding an additional $500 to what they were offering me, and they agreed offer it. So I was literally sitting there like, yo, imagine if I never upped it. I would have lost out on an additional $500, and that's a lot. So ask for more. If they can do it, they will. And if they can't do it, you don't have to work with them, or you can make the decision to work with them because you actually love the brand and you want to work with them again in the future.
And I also think it's important to know your value of a dollar versus an opportunity in a relationship, because when I first started, you know, working with brands and like working events and stuff, a lot of people wanted volunteers, and I thought that was fine for me at the time, because I'm like, I'm just starting off. These are events that I genuinely want to go to, and the fact that I can go, I can work with the brand, you know, I don't have to buy a ticket or whatever the case is. But then with those opportunities, I think that those grew me to having a relationship with the brand. So it just depends. Like if it's a brand that you really rock with, if it's a brand that you've been following, if it's a brand you respect and you respect like, you know, what they stand for, the culture, then I would definitely like say to consider doing things maybe at a lower cost or for free. But if it's like a newer brand or something you're not familiar with, or I would definitely say to test things out. I never thought to test things out because I only really like try and work with brands that I know. Yeah.
If you send me anything, like, because for me, I want like, and Kendra, you know, because like sometimes I'll recommend stuff to Kendra. She tries it and she'd be like, oh my God, it's so bomb. I love that. I love when I recommend something to someone and they're in love with it. That makes me so happy because it makes me feel like, oh my God, like it works for me, like, and it also works for them. Like,
yeah, I'm like, my taste is popping. I got good taste. I know what I'm doing.
It's just like if a brand tries to send me something, or if they send me something, I need to test it, especially if it's not something I'm familiar with, before I promote it. Because once I promote it, that's my name now. And I know sometimes I be watching big beauty influencers and they be like, you're dead lying about this product because this product is like, it does not work. It's not good for oily skin. You said it was good for oily skin, and everyone is different, so you have to keep that into mind too. But there's times that I'm just like, you clearly like did not really try out this product because you didn't mention X, Y, or Z in your review, but it said sponsor. You get what I'm saying? So I never want to be that person. We all work. We spend our real coin on these items. So,
and we know y'all do too. So.
We're rambling at this point, but I feel like this topic of like knowing your rate is so important. And so many people ask this question of like micro influencers. So I hope we'll put the recap of like what you should know here, of like the important points, but hopefully
y'all get the point.
You get the point. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for this part of the video. If you want to see the next part, make sure you go ahead and head over to Kendra's channel. It will be linked down below in the description box. Alright guys, so that is going to be all of the tips that we have for this video. I hope that it was helpful for you, especially if you are someone that is a micro influencer or that is trying to get into the influencing space. Make sure you go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to both of our channels. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you go ahead and leave them all down below in the comment section. Let us know what I want to know.
The most helpful tip.
Yes, what was the most helpful tip? Let me know in the comment section down below what was the most helpful tip, or what questions you still have. If you don't feel comfortable leaving your questions down below in the comment section, definitely feel free to DM us, email us, and we will answer your questions, whatever you need, okay? The goal is for all of us to grow together, to learn together, and I feel like I definitely wanted to make sure, or we definitely wanted to make sure that everything we've learned, we can pay it forward, because we had to learn through experiences, and now you just have all of the lessons. You have it all at your hand, so I hope you took notes, okay? I love you guys so much, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.
Yeah.